Is that He-Man? No, it's Faker. Hey guys, Jay! Welcome back to the channel. So guys, today I thought we would talk a little bit more about the Master Universe Vintage Collection for the Masterverse editions. This is an incredibly sought-after collection, as I've been advocating for these figures for such a long time, ever since the very first two figures released in the Masterverse 40th anniversary collection as an exclusive for San Diego Comic-Con. I wanted everybody to be able to get these figures, and now it's finally coming true. After such a long time waiting for Vintage Skeletor, man, it felt like a couple of years, he's finally been released to the public slowly. It's like a slow drip that's been going on for quite some time now. Zodak was actually also announced late last year and is finally starting to be shipped out to fans. And now, thanks to our good friends over at ToyHabits.com, we know that Faker, yes, that's right, Master Universe Vintage Collection Masterverse Faker is going to be released on the line and will be pre-orderable tomorrow on Walmart Collecticon. This is absolutely nuts, everybody. Let's take a deep dive and see exactly what the Master Universe Vintage Collection has in store for us as fans of the larger buck scale, because I am, for one, am excited for this brand new collection, and we are getting huge glimpse at what's happening with these new figures for Collecticon and beyond. Let's take a deep dive into this, guys, because this one is not one to be missed. Let's have a look. So it's no secret that I am a huge, huge fan of the Vintage Collection from the Master Universe Masterverse Collection. Once these were announced, I literally lost my mind, and I just wanted to go over a couple things about the Masterverse Vintage Collection that honestly are really exciting me, but at the same time, I have a few reservations about them. I just wanted to go over that today. I want to give another huge shout out to ToyArt.com, who did some coverage for the past Toy Fair 2025. They're a wonderful resource for toy news all year round. Give them a like and a follow. Tell them that Jay sent you. The Mattel Creations Revealed event highlighted a few things which could be the future for Master Universe, including the Club Grayskull release of Hero, which was an exclusive for Club Grayskull members, and with his new vac metal appearance, the packaging design, and the fact that he really was only $20 makes him an exclusive figure, which I think a lot of people were very much looking forward to. There's always going to be that little bit of a caveat when you take into account that the Club Grayskull membership is an additional $10, but spread over the year, that's less than $1 a month, and with the promise of additional figures in the line exclusive to Club Grayskull, the play-to-pay model in this sense is something which will be debated by fans going forward. Adding to the nostalgic flavor, the announcement of the new Master Universe Origins Skeletor and He-Man 2-pack for the 80th anniversary of Mattel is a welcome addition to vintage 5.5 collector fans. This will be the first time that these two figures have been released in their original 6 points of articulation in close to a decade. This 2-pack will be retailing at $44.99, releasing in the fall of 2025, and will be filled with twist and punch movements, which I'm really excited for, including all of their traditional accessories and even roto-molded heads, which a lot of people are telling me is the soft head edition. This is an excellent addition to the collection and really reinforces the fact that Master Universe is bathed in nostalgia, and a lot of fans are looking for the return to the vintage style of action figures. That was clearly evident with the release of the Master Universe Masterverse 40th Anniversary Edition for He-Man and Skeletor back on San Diego Comic-Con 2022. This was the first realization of the Masterverse Vintage Collection, as they would come to be known, and really gave fans hope at the time that there would be a larger scale buck with a larger chest, broader shoulders, harkening back to the days of Master Universe in their original vintage scale. It would take a year, but we finally got the retail edition of He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe, although he was not branded with the Vintage Collection moniker yet. Fans who were not able to pick up this figure at Comic-Con were finally able to pick him up in his Masterverse edition on retail shelves. And he did not disappoint. The broader shoulders, the larger chest, and thankfully, the haphazard wash that was in the prototypes and paint masters was greatly subdued to make it look much, much cleaner in the final release. The main differences between this version in the retail release were plastic accessories paired to the collectible die-cast editions that were included with the Masterverse 40th Anniversary Edition at San Diego Comic-Con. But this left fans wondering, what the heck happened to Skeletor? We already knew that he had a figure released in the Masterverse edition with the vintage-style body, and his absence continued to be a mystery as He-Man was on shelves for quite some time, and fans were eagerly anticipating the release of Skeletor. Fast forward to late 2024, and the announcement for the Masterverse Vintage Collection Skeletor had finally been announced. Fans could finally pick up this amazing version of Skeletor, a much anticipated figure in the line, and fans are eager to pick this version up for their very own. But there are a few key differences which fans discovered, including the color of the blue skin and his mandible. As a matter of fact, good friend of the channel, Cobweb Collector, did an entire view of Vintage Collection Skeletor, receiving it quite early as it's been very difficult to find this in the wild, highlighting some of the main differences, including the darker armor of the figure, the wash on the face, the fact that the mandible does not actually articulate, and additional key differences between the two figures. You should definitely check out Cobweb Collector's review on Vintage Collection Skeletor. I'll have it linked in the description below so you guys can take a look. The Vintage Collection is a welcome addition to the Master Universe Masters Collection, and it wouldn't be long until the next figure was leaked to the public, as good friends of the channel, Toy Habits, was able to find and showcase many of the official images prior to the Walmart CollectorCon back in October of 2024. This new version of Zodak featured the same larger scale buck, but with additional details, including those furry details on the shoulders, the chest, as well as the back, a brand new head sculpt, new armor for his Cosmic Defender look, traditional furry loincloth, that great looking belt, and of course, the Skeletor style feet, which were lifted off of the Vintage Collection Skeletor figure. He also included a brand new edition of his laser blaster with blast effect, 2 swappable fists, and a cosmic force field, which really helped to identify him as a cosmic enforcer. It was encouraging to see that the Master Universe Vintage Collection would continue in 2025, as Zodak is definitely one of those figures who is very sought after by fans, having really etched out a place in Master Universe lore 2000X Zodak and the additional lore of the Cosmic Enforcers. Seeing his vintage release here really is a treat, and I'm hoping that we continue to get more figures into the line for the Vintage Collection, as I really appreciate the larger size figure molds, harkening back to the Master Universe original line of action figures. The new vintage style packaging that was created for the Masterverse really does tickle the nostalgia strings. The blasting meteors and electricity with red rocks and blue background really are a signature of the Master Universe, and seeing that classic font right back on the front of the box really does bring me back, especially when I find these in store hanging on the pegs. Originally, this was a Walmart exclusive for Walmart CollectorCon and has since sold out, and many of us are still waiting on bated breath to find out when this will be restocked, but I believe fans are able to find him in store if you live in the United States. And then the future of Vintage Collection was in question, as we hadn't heard anything about new releases from Mattel until a few days ago, when Toy Habits broke the news that they had found official links and images for the pre-order of the Masterverse Vintage Collection Faker figure, and this really blew my mind. Definitely head over to toyhabits.com, give them a like, a follow, and tell them that Jay sent you. Let's take a deep dive into this, guys, because I'm excited for this new release of Faker. There he is, everybody. Master Universe Masterverse Faker for the Vintage Collection. This is amazing. He comes with his traditional sword and shield, but they're cast in this unique bronze material, which I think is interesting, as the original release of Faker came with a purple sword, which was a nod to his original 5.5 Vintage Edition release. Although on closer inspection, purple is actually not the correct color for the original 5.5-inch scale figure. It actually is the color of his battle axe, which is orange. If we look back at the original pack out for Faker, his sword and his strap harness are actually the same color, orange. There were variations on the orange color, but for the most part, this is the way Faker was packed out. This was also reflective in the Master Universe Classics edition, where the figure was included with an orange sword to match his orange straps. The original release of Masterverse Faker actually switched this up a bit, matching the purple scheme color of his new straps along with the purple of his sword, but leaving the battle axe, which was not an included accessory, in that traditional yellow. One of the most standout features of Faker, other than his blue skin, definitely has to be the data module, which is embedded into his chest. This, of course, in the original Vintage Collection figure, was more of a reel-to-reel type of data module, and that has carried over to this version here on the original Masterverse release. This was also evident in the Master Universe Classics edition. This new Faker has something really special, as the module itself now appears to be a fully molded piece. And according to Toy Habits, from the description which they found online, indicated that this accessory is actually a die-cast robotic recorder. That is a new addition and would be very interesting to see if that actually comes across in the final version. It's hard to tell here on these promotional photos, but apparently this is also a removable piece. I think we can really see that here as it seems to be completely etched out. But what's really interesting is the fact that if this is a die-cast piece, that would make this a very interesting addition to this Faker figure. And depending on the second and third releases, might be a collector's edition for those who are into that sort of thing, as this die-cast piece would be a wonderful accompaniment to the Masterverse versions of the accessories, which were also included with the 40th anniversary of He-Man and Skeletor Masterverse. Faker looks amazing. His skin is a bit muted compared to his vintage and classics counterpart, but I think that falls in line with the type of colorization they're using for these characters going forward. His straps look amazing and do have small highlights of silver in their details, which is a wonderful touch. His loincloth is of that traditional purple along with the silver of his belt, and he's also included with an additional gauntlet similar to what was included with He-Man. His boots are completely purple with slight black highlights, very much in the same style as He-Man. Faker also comes with an axe, very much matching the entire pack out of the most powerful man in the universe. And it really is great to see him in his vintage collection form, as Faker has a huge following, as Faker is a fan favorite among Master Universe fans the world over. It's interesting to see in these promotional photos that Faker might include a human hand, or possibly this was a mistake by the photographer when he was attaching this version of the hand to Faker. Faker also has a clasp in the back of his straps, which I believe is also similar to the straps on Skeletor, where he can sheath his sword or his axe, adding additional modes of play for the character overall. We can see Faker's complete pack out here. It is interesting to see that his sword and axe are not the original orange color to match his straps, but I think as a collector's piece, this is an interesting choice for a colorway for Faker. Faker also comes in the traditional Master Universe packaging, and of course, Faker comes in the Masterverse Vintage Collection style packaging. I love those exploding rocks. Once again, really harkening back to the original releases of Master Universe back in 1982. The listing for Faker was discovered by toyhabits.com. You can find that link on their webpage. Definitely give them a like and a follow, guys. They're doing hard work for us and finding all these amazing leaks. You can head over to that page right now, but it does list that Faker will only be available for Walmart Collecticon starting 3/13 at 7 a.m. PST. So, mark your calendars down for 7 a.m. tomorrow, guys, because Faker will be available for pre-order on Walmart Collecticon 2025. Everyone's excited about Faker, including art director Roy Juarez, Manuel Eduardo Caritas on Instagram, and he even did a full rotational view on his Instagram page. You can find out more about the backing card art on his webpage. I'll be doing a deep dive into the backing card itself, as it really does emulate the original backing card from the 1983 edition of Faker and He-Man's battle. The art team over at Mattel Creations is just killing it, and I'm loving what these guys are doing. Please give Manuel Eduardo Caritas, Roy Juarez, a like and follow. Tell him that Jay sent you. Walmart Collecticon is almost upon us, everybody, and Master Universe Vintage Collection Faker will be front and center for pre-order beginning at 7 a.m. Pacific time. Don't sleep on this, guys, because this one is definitely one Master Universe fans have been waiting for. Oh my gosh. I'm not going to say that the last few years of Masterverse have been a little bit, lacking. No, that's not true. The figures we've got for the Masterverse have been great, but I was kind of like, why are the chests not as big as I remember from Master of the Universe Vintage Collection figures of 5.5? I was almost like, these, as I remember them as a kid, they're gigantic, they're huge, they're big, they're burly. They are big, hulking, muscular men. And these ones, although they're muscular, they're very, realistic in their overall appearance, they were a little bit lacking in the upper body up department. That's just me. But when I saw them release the original 40th anniversary version for San Diego Comic-Con, I was like, yes! Does this mean we're going to get a new version of He-Man and Skeletor eventually? It finally happened, but they were years apart. And now we're finally seeing more for the vintage collection of Masterverse coming to fruition. Zodak and now Faker. Oh my god, this is a dream come true for people who enjoy this style of Master Universe. And of course, it's going to be available right now, tomorrow in fact, for pre-order for Faker, starting at 7 p.m. Pacific time. Mark your calendars down and set your alarms, everybody, because Faker is a fan favorite in the Master Universe circles, and you don't want to miss out on picking up this figure for your very own. Let me know in the comment section below, guys. Are you going to pick up a Faker and wake up early tomorrow, 7 a.m. Pacific time, specifically to pick up your edition of Faker on Walmart Collecticon. Is this the type of faker that you've been working for all your life in the Masterverse edition? Or is this not in your wheelhouse and you're actually pretty happy with the current edition of Faker that exists right now and you're happy to have that version and can pass this one on by? Let me know in those comments in the comment section below, guys. Toy news continues in 2025, and I gotta tell you, the Master of the Universe is just killing it. As a matter of fact, the new Master Universe Thundercats crossover is just freaking insane. As a matter of fact, I did a deep dive into the announcements for the showcase that was released at Toy Fair 2025 with my good friend JP over at Thundercats Classics. You can take a look at that video right here, and I'll see you guys there. I hope you're all doing well, staying safe. And as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching. Master Universe is back and in the power in 2025, everybody. And I can't wait until we add these to our collection. Good journey, everybody. Geek proud.